Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer.
And what do we have in store for you today? Hello, humans, and let's talk about Call of Duty. I want to reminisce about this 20-year journey. Let me ask you, when did you first play Call of Duty? I want to do a couple of things here. I'm going to do the intro, and at the last part of the video, you're going to hear the essay with my AI voice to finish it up, because I'm sure I'm not going to be able to do it the way my voice is right now. But let me tell you something. It's been a great journey, and there's a couple of points that people miss when talking about this franchise. Of course, it's been in the news lately because of that Activision deal, $69 billion. That's a huge number. But how did we get there? How did we arrive, right? And this franchise was the main driver of that purchase. Of course, there's a lot more properties in there, but as far as Microsoft really dealing a blow to PlayStation and one of its flagship franchises, which is not theirs, but people, as you know from the court cases, about 20% of the install base was just for this game. So this is clearly a shot from Microsoft to PlayStation, right? But it all started, way back when, in Medal of Honor Frontline. And I think it's very relevant in today's video game landscape where there's so much turmoil, right? We're having Bungie have issues, we have Microsoft have issues, we have all kinds of people have issues. But this is an opportunity, not only in this market, but in any market where there's a little bit of chaos, right? And maybe it seems like there's a little bit of disorder. It's the opportunity for young entrepreneurs out there to forge a new path. And this is the case here. About 22 programmers, developers left Electronic Arts because they weren't satisfied with the environment, with the restrictions they had in such a big corporation when they worked on the game Medal of Honor Frontline, which is a game that was well received, of course, right? But from that genesis, those rebels are the ones that started this revolution that ended up in this franchise that sold, millions of millions, in the hundreds of millions. I think 400,000, the last official count, over 400,000 copies of this game sold. And there's a couple of key things here for Call of Duty. After the first game, if you guys remember, Microsoft secured the title for Call of Duty 2 for the Xbox 360. And it really, to me, if you look back in time, is one of the titles that established them as an online playing juggernaut. And it made the Xbox 360 relevant as that, right? And if you ask me, it contributed a lot to those red rings of death, because people were playing on it way more than Microsoft ever anticipated. Remember how long the Call of Duty sessions were there? These guys were thinking people were going to play 1-2 hours, maybe 3 hours. And then all of a sudden you started looking at 6-hour play times. Far more than those heat sinks were meant for at a single use. But you know what? That's just my hypothesis. That's just me maybe looking back with nostalgia lenses. But Call of Duty, man, I mean, it is amazing what the right franchise at the right time can do. And no matter what controversies might surround, this last iteration of the franchise, this is going to be a franchise that's going to, keep moving forward. Let me tell you, the install base for this is very loyal. Call of Duty players are very, very loyal. Every single one that I met, and they play, every single release that they can, whether they like it or not. They buy it. That is what's kept Call of Duty alive all these years. But clearly there have been some gems, along the way. After the essay, you guys tell me which are your favorites. Which one did you start with? Which one do you have the most memories with? For me, it's Call of Duty 2. That, I want to say, still is my favorite.
20 years of epic war. The impact of Call of Duty on the video game industry. Introduction. In the realm of video games, few franchises have left as indelible a mark as Call of Duty. Celebrating its 20th anniversary, This game series has not only shaped the first-person shooter genre, but has also had a profound influence on the entire gaming industry. As players across the world reminisce about their two-decade journey with the franchise, we explore the pivotal moments and innovations that made Call of Duty the iconic title it is today. A paradigm shift in 2003. When Call of Duty was first introduced in 2003, it marked a significant departure from the traditional first-person shooter formula. While other titles of the era allowed players to assume the role of a one-man army taking on entire platoons, Call of Duty placed them squarely in the heart of epic battles during World War II. Players became cogs in a massive war machine, just one piece in a grand, chaotic narrative, a tale of creative rebellion. The origin story of Call of Duty is a fascinating one. It emerged when a group of developers who had previously worked on the Medal of Honor series, particularly the acclaimed Allied Assault, grew dissatisfied with their publisher, Electronic Arts. In 2002, this group of 22 visionary developers founded their own studio, Infinity Ward, and signed a publishing deal with Activision. Within a year, Call of Duty was born. Epic scope and technical brilliance. What set Call of Duty apart was its grand scope and technical brilliance. The game allowed players to experience the war from multiple perspectives, starting with the D-Day landings and moving on to Operation Tonga and the Battle of Stalingrad. This narrative structure provided players with a sweeping overview of the closing months of World War II, immersing them in its most impactful moments. The pacing was almost operatic, shifting between epic battlefield sequences and intense, duet-like scenarios, creating a roller coaster of emotions. The audio design, featuring authentic gun sounds and earth-shaking explosions, added to the sensory experience. Revolutionizing AI and multiplayer, Infinity Ward put a strong emphasis on AI, making players feel like they were part of a larger war effort. The AI-controlled allies displayed sophisticated pathfinding and decision-making capabilities, resulting in a cinematic sense of action and consequence. Multiplayer was also a core component from the start, introducing modes like Deathmatch, Team Deathmatch, Search and Destroy, and Retrieval. Call of Duty's multiplayer innovation extended to its scripting language, allowing PC players to create their own versions and opening the door for modders. The introduction of the kill cam revolutionized player feedback and strategies. The birth of a franchise, the launch of Call of Duty, marked the beginning of a franchise rather than a standalone title. Microsoft recognized its potential and secured the sequel as an Xbox 360 launch title, positioning the console as an online gaming machine. With Call of Duty 4's release 2 years later, the series solidified its status and set the stage for the brand's enduring success. Call of Duty. Today, 2 decades and more than 400 million sales later, Call of Duty stands as one of the top-grossing names in the video game industry. Its history has not been without controversy, with criticism for its Western-centric worldview, stereotyping, and military glorification. However, what the first game achieved, the blend of historical authenticity with cinematic effects and action, and the translation of these elements into multiplayer, laid the foundation for the brand and the broader landscape of epic mainstream game design. Conclusion: as Call of Duty celebrates 20 years of intense battles, thrilling storytelling, and groundbreaking multiplayer experiences, it remains an integral part of gaming history. The franchise has grown, evolved, and influenced the industry in countless ways. As players continue to embrace the nostalgia of 2 decades with Call of Duty, it's clear that its impact will endure for years to come, making it an enduring titan in the world of video games.
Did you subscribe? Did you hit the like button? What the hell are you waiting for?